You're listening to the Quoted Podcast Season 16. Now, let's get on to today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Quoted Podcast. I am here today with an unexpected episode because I was only going to do one Christmas episode this season, but I set up this really cute background and I'm kind of loving it, so I thought I would do another one. So expect a really fun guest episode coming next week. But right now, it's just going to be solo, and I'm just going to talk to you about the meaning of Christmas and just like the true story. Because I was in church yesterday, and the pastor was talking about how we have forgotten the meaning of Christmas, and we're letting the things of this world make us forget about why we celebrate Christmas in the first place. And so it's really nice to be reminded of the true meaning, and I think you need that reminder today. So let's just get into it. So I want to start off by saying that I have felt that every year for Christmas, I always feel guilty because I'll either forget to start an Advent reading, or I won't read the Christmas story that year, and I'll just kind of focus on the gift giving and the gift getting part, and I won't really think about the true meaning of Christmas, and that it's literally Jesus's birthday and we should be celebrating that. And I just think that more and more the world consumes us and makes us think more about getting presents than celebrating Jesus's birth. Now, one really cool thing you could be doing to get back into the Bible this year and to really celebrate whose birth it really is by going to read Luke. Luke has 24 different chapters, and you can read one each day leading up to Christmas. I know when this comes out, it'll be after December 2nd, so you'll be behind on that, but it's a really good idea, and it's what I'm doing this year because I really have neglected the Christmas story lately, and I really need to just get back into it and just remember because we all love getting gifts and we all love making Christmas lists each year, but is it really about that? Is it for kids? Yes, kids will, the first thing, if you ask a kid what do you want for Christmas, or what is the meaning of Christmas, they'll be like, gifts, getting gifts, and be like, presents, and this is what I want, and that's all what kids will think about. But as adults, we gotta remember what the true meaning of Christmas is, because we're really forgetting, and we're just letting it be a time where we get what we want. And I honestly don't like asking people for stuff. I wish sometimes that I didn't do that, and I almost feel like one year for Christmas I should just not ask for anything. But what's really fun for me is just making a list, but then I feel weird having other people give me stuff. I'm honored, but I don't know. So I really want to remember this year that it's not all about the gifts. And if you are not familiar with the Christmas story, I just wanted to give you a little rundown, and I wanted to read a few verses from Matthew. And in Matthew chapter 2, the Magi visits the Messiah, and I just want to read a few of the verses to you. So it says, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the peoples, chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. In Bethlehem in Judea, they replied, for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, and the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. So this chapter talks all about the wise men. They saw the star, they knew they were supposed to go and find baby Jesus, and at the time Herod was the king. Herod was not the greatest king, and he did not want Jesus to take his reign. Like he needed Jesus out of there, and he was not happy when he heard that there was a baby that was going to be higher than him. But the wise men listened to the star and listened to the angels, and they went and they found baby Jesus and they gave him gifts. And it says in verse 8, he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me so that I too may go and worship him. And that's what Herod said, because Herod wanted to literally hurt baby Jesus. But after the Magi had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. And when they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. So they chose one king over another, because even though Jesus was just a baby at the time, he wasn't really quite yet king. He got chosen over Herod because the Magi specifically knew that God wanted them to go to baby Jesus and not to tell Herod where baby Jesus was. And that's just a really special start to the true story of Christmas, because these wise men, they just went where they were called to go. They might not have even known much about the situation or what they were going to come across, but they brought gifts to baby Jesus, and they listened, and they followed the star, and they didn't tell Herod where he was. And then, as we should all know by now, after that, Mary and Joseph ended up having to flee, which continues chapter 2, and they have to hide from Herod. And then we have John the Baptist coming in and stuff, and it's just really such a beautiful story. I know that further in, obviously, when you get to the reason why we celebrate Christmas, when he was born, this is after he was born. But yeah, love it, love the story. And I wanted to tell you guys, if you haven't realized, a lot of the Christmas movies that you watch during this season actually remind you that giving is better than receiving. Like in A Christmas Carol. So in A Christmas Carol, you follow Scrooge. Scrooge is he is not a happy man, and he is very, very selfish, and he only cares about himself. But when the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future come to him, they show him what his life will be like because of the way that he's acting. And he learns that it's so much more important to be joyful and to give to others than just be like Ebenezer Scrooge and be mean to everyone. And then there's also It's a Wonderful Life is another example. Okay, my pastor actually told us this in church. He pointed out that every Christmas movie you see shows you that giving is better than receiving, and gives you that theme. And I'm all about the themes in movies. I just love watching movies to figure out what theme that they're gonna have, and so I think that is super fun. But in It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey, he sorry, I'm cheating and I'm reading from the website where it says what's happening. He thinks that the world is better off without him, but then an angel will come and shows him what the world will look like if he's not there. And oh my goodness. It's so funny because in our day-to-day lives, a lot of the time we start to feel lonely and we start to feel like we aren't meant to be here, and I definitely feel like that a lot of the time because like sometimes I just feel like none of my friends can hang out and it's just me sitting in my room and I don't know what to do with myself. And then I go spend my money on expensive coffee because I don't know what else to do. But it's such a good reminder, like, that, like, these movies, like, It's a Wonderful Life is such a good movie because it reminds you that you have a place in this world for a reason. One of my high school teachers, um, lost her life too soon a few years ago. And one thing about the situation was that there were so many people at her funeral that there weren't enough seats. She thought she wasn't good enough. She let Satan tell her all of these lies, and she left this earth way too soon. And then so many people showed up to her funeral, and so many people cared about her, including me. And so it's really sad to hear stories like that where you lose people too soon because they felt like they were alone. And I know this is like totally off topic and this is not about Christmas right now. Well, I mean, like, it's just, I need to tell you this, okay? I need to say this. It's a matter of making people feel loved. Sometimes we feel like, sometimes as people, we feel like we're making people feel loved and nobody's making us feel loved back. But I just want to tell you today that you are loved, okay? If you're one of those people who put so much thought into others and just constantly text people and like lets them know that you're there and you feel like nobody does the same for you, just know that there are people out there that love you. Maybe they don't always text you, but they still care. And it's sad when you lose people and then literally everybody shows up to their funeral. And like you wish that they were still there because they were so loved and they didn't realize it. And so I think another part of the Christmas season is really showing people how loved they are. Because like giving gifts, like I know I am like honored when someone gives me a gift. Like usually people only give you gifts for like holidays and stuff. But like if they randomly gave you one throughout the year, like I just feel so like honored because it makes me feel special to know that someone wanted to give me a gift. Like one of my family friends, after I graduated high school, she just randomly sent me the cutest gift ever. And she lives in a different state, and I don't see her that often, her and her family. But it was just like the sweetest thing, and it made me feel so loved. And then I wanted to like give back, and like I wanted to give something to her. And it doesn't take much to make someone's day. And I know that a lot of people are still grieving over people that they have lost that they're not going to see this holiday season. We are all like constantly grieving over our loved ones that we've lost. And sometimes holiday seasons are hard for people. So please give back this year. Don't just think about yourself and don't hold grudges against people, and remember how loved you are and show people how loved they are. Like you don't have to You don't have to give someone a huge gift to make their day. You can simply write someone a card. Like, one thing I want to do this season is I really just want to write a bunch of cards, and I kind of just want to hand them out to random people. Like, I was like, I could go to the Starbucks drive-thru and like just hand them all cards that just have words of encouragement in them, because you truly never know what someone is going through, and literally just little words of encouragement can really mean a lot to people. And like, Jesus literally was born, and all he did when he lived on earth was love people. All he did was love people and give. Like, he didn't ask for anything in return. He just made people feel loved, and then he died on the cross for us. Literally, for us. He didn't even have to do that, yet he did. And now we get the chance to spread his joy and his love to the people around us. And it's really sad when people get caught up in the holiday season and like the shopping and what they want for Christmas, and then Christmas Day all they think about is the gifts. What about the biggest gift of all? Like, Jesus is literally the biggest gift of all. Like, we are just so loved. We are so loved by him, and he gave so much to us. So why are we forgetting about him on his birthday? Like, I'm sure we all love to tell people happy birthday, and we all love to make them feel loved on that specific day, but what about every day? Do we make people feel loved every day? Or do we just walk around and grumble and complain and argue? Because that's not what life is about. Satan likes to make you think it is, but it's really not. Life can be so much better than you're making it out to be. Like, stop with the negativity. Stop crying. Stop being so sad. And look at the sky. Just go touch grass, as Brett Cooper says. Literally, I was watching a YouTube video, and I just learned the craziest thing. Did you know that people literally sit on a chair in front of a computer and stream, like, just during the night or during the day? Like, is that what's the only thing that some people do? I was a little concerned because I never thought about how many people actually just stream, just sit there and play video games all day. Like, there's so much life to be lived outside of the screen. Like, I make these episodes, these podcasts, to specifically encourage you. They're not for me. They're not for me. I didn't start this podcast for me. And it's just like some people are just sitting there all day doing nothing. Because they feel like they've run out of things to live for. And I feel like that sometimes too. But one thing that God has been teaching me is that I don't have to live like I'm alone. I wasn't meant to be alone. I wasn't meant to be alone. I don't have to. I don't have to be lonely. Like, I can get up and I can go outside and I can go talk to someone. I can go hang out with my friend. I could go do stuff. I don't have to just sit at home. Like, there's so much to be thankful for. And so many things are going to happen in your life that are going to be so freaking hard. But you still gotta keep moving. You can't give up. You have to get up and you have to get outside and you have to go do something that's going to make you happy. So this holiday season, wherever you're at, whoever you're grieving or just however you're feeling, I want you to know that you're not alone and that Christmas isn't all about the presents, and that there is a creator who loves you so freaking so much. And all he wants is to spend time with you, and all he wants is to tell you how much he loves you. Like, God never gives up on us. We make so many mistakes, and he never gives up on us, and he's constantly there. And we keep telling ourselves that we need a relationship to be happy, and we don't. We only need God. We really truly only need God. We don't need worldly relationships as much as we think we do. They're good to have. They're good things, but don't forget that you are the clay and he is the potter, and he has a perfect plan for your life, and you don't need to give up on that plan just because it feels like nothing's happening right now. You are still loved, and I want you to feel that this holiday season. And you should go make someone else feel loved too. Yeah. Oh, and welcome to my first video episode on YouTube. Video episodes are coming. For season 16, I am going to be trying to do video episodes as long as all of the guests that I have are okay with that. For the longest time, I just did audio because I wasn't comfortable showing my face, but I remembered that I don't do this for myself, and I really think more people would listen if they could see me talking, possibly. So I hope. I really hope. But yeah. I have so many amazing episodes coming your way in 2025, and you're not gonna want to miss them. We got some reoccurring guests and some new guests, and I'm so excited. And yeah. And this is my Christmas background. You're gonna see this again next week with Kate Stanford, obviously, because I can't wait to talk to her. But thank you for listening. I don't even know what this episode is. It was just spur of the moment. I set this background up. It looks cute. Let's talk about Christmas. I really don't know what it is, but I hope it encouraged you today. Yeah. Please don't forget about the true meaning of Christmas. Please don't forget that you're never alone. And please just be encouraged, okay? Because God loves you. I love you for listening. And I am always here. Like, I'm the best listener ever. Not as good of a listener as God, but I am a really great listener. So if you want to comment down below, or if you want to DM me on Instagram or whatever, I will listen because I want to be here for you too, and I care. You might feel like no one cares, but I care. God cares. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Okay. Go give back and go smile. Go do something you love. Just because coffee is $6 at Starbucks doesn't mean that you shouldn't get any. As long as you can. Okay. I gotta go. Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Quoted Podcast. Come back next Thursday for more.